They say the view from the top is breathtaking, but they never tell you about the bodies buried in the foundation just to keep the building level. My name is Elias Thorne. For 7 years, I was the invisible hand behind Aegis, the most sophisticated predictive algorithm in the history of Wall Street. I didn't build it for the money. I built it for the beauty of the logic. But Marcus Sterling, the CEO of Sterling Vance, didn't see beauty. He saw a weapon. On the night the patent was filed, Marcus didn't give me a promotion. He gave me a criminal record. He had security escort me out in handcuffs, claiming I had attempted to sabotage the firm's servers. He erased my name from the documentation and stepped into the spotlight as the sole visionary of the trillion-dollar era. He thought he had cut the head off the snake. He didn't realize I was the one who designed the venom. And today, the poison reaches his heart.
3 years. That's how long it took Marcus to become the most powerful man in finance. He lived in a fortress of glass and steel overlooking Central Park, convinced that his wealth made him a god. He forgot one fundamental rule of the digital age. Everything built on code has a back door. I spent those 3 years in a basement apartment, living off the grid, watching him through the very systems he thought he owned. I didn't want a settlement. I didn't want an apology. I wanted a total liquidation of his soul. The audit began on a Tuesday. Marcus was in his penthouse, sipping a $30,000 bottle of cognac, when his private workstation flickered. No text appeared, no ransom note, just a live video feed. It took him a moment to realize what he was looking at. It was his own heart rate, blood pressure, and oxygen levels, synced in real time from his smart pacemaker. I watched through his own webcam as the color drained from his face. A message finally crawled across his screen, in cold, white text. "Stress is a silent killer, Marcus. Let's see how much your heart can take before the market opens." The quarterly board meeting was supposed to be his coronation. He was set to announce a merger that would give him control over the national power grid. He stood at the head of the mahogany table, the embodiment of arrogance. "The Aegis system is flawless," he told the investors. I waited until he reached for his glass of water. I triggered the protocol. Every screen in the room didn't just flicker, they bled. The stock charts transformed into a scrolling list of every offshore account Marcus had used to funnel company funds. I had locked the biometric doors. He was trapped in a room with the people he had robbed, forced to watch his own empire dissolve in a stream of data. While Marcus was screaming at a dead monitor, the Aegis algorithm began its final task. It wasn't predicting the market anymore. It was cannibalizing his net worth. I had written a self-destruct sequence into the core logic years ago, a failsafe in case the system was ever stolen. It began executing trades at a speed no human could follow. Every cent Marcus had stolen from the employee pension funds began flowing back into the accounts of the people he had fired. By the time the SEC arrived at the front door, Marcus Sterling wasn't just a criminal. He was a zero. I walked into the lobby of Sterling Vance as the FBI was walking out. I walked past the chaos and went straight to the server room, the place where Marcus thought he had erased me. He was there, alone in the dark, trying to physically smash the server racks with a fire extinguisher. He looked like a cornered animal.
"Elias," he gasped, "I'll give you everything. Just stop the sequence."
I looked at the man who had stolen 7 years of my life and smiled. "You don't understand, Marcus," I said softly. "The sequence ended 10 minutes ago. There's nothing left to save." I handed him a single sheet of paper. It was the original employment contract he had ripped up 3 years ago. At the bottom, in the space where he had forged his own name, there was now a single stamp in deep, blood-red ink. Audited. You told me once that the world belongs to the visionaries, I said, as the sirens grew louder outside. But the world actually belongs to the architects. We know where the load-bearing walls are, and we know exactly which one to pull to make the whole thing scream. As the agents entered the room, Marcus didn't fight. He was finally a ghost in his own machine.
The higher the climb, the harder the impact. Marcus Sterling is currently serving 25 to life in a federal facility, where the only predictive modeling he has to worry about is the length of the chow line. This was the glass ceiling protocol. Another debt settled, another empire dismantled. This is Karma Speaks. If you want to see the next audit, make sure to subscribe and stay in the shadows. Remember, the code always has a back door, and I'm the one with the key. I'll see you in the next one.